Well, hello. These are my top 10 rewatchable movies in no particular order. Number 1, The Color Purple, 1985. It's about the life of a woman named Celia who experienced bigotry and abuse that spans over 40 years. It has memorable lines like, "You told Hoppo to beat me," which is my all time fave, and "It's gonna rain on your head." Music, Sister, and God is Trying to Tell You Something, which really do something to you. Oprah and Whoopi acted their butts off, especially Oprah as Sophia, who should have won an Oscar. The film was definitely robbed of the awards it should have gotten during that era. I think the film was nominated for 11 and received none. Number 2, Goodfellas. It's a biographical movie about the rise and fall of mob member Henry Hill, played by Ray Liotta. I love the pacing. Usually movies about the mafia tend to be a bit slow, and Joe Pesci played his role very well. Number 3, Showgirls. This film came out in 1995 starring Elizabeth Berkley of Saved by the Bell fame. I'm guessing this was her coming out of the show role. It's the ultimate so bad it's good movie. The Room has nothing on this, and I think it's more enjoyable. As a matter of fact, this movie should have made number 1 on all of the so bad it's good and campy movie lists. And from what I've heard, it was unintentionally campy. It's about a woman with a suitcase and a dream to become a top showgirl in Las Vegas. I love the scenes when Naomi just dramatically spazzes out at everyone every time she's faced with something difficult. Old girl knows she could obliterate some fast food, the campy dialogue, the colors and production design of the shows, and Nomi's fabulous mispronunciation of Versace. Number 4, Mommy Dearest, 1981. This film is about Joan Crawford and her adoptive daughter, Christina. Faye Dunaway did her thing, although the director should have reeled her in at times, but her free-reign performance is what makes the movie so good. There's allegedly a 4-hour version I wish I could see. There's memorable lines like, "No wire hangers and clean up this mess." It's an intriguing watch about Joan as a case study focusing on her behavior and how she treated her adoptive children. Number 5, Fargo, 1996. This is a movie I've literally watched over and over. It's about a car salesman who has debt who hires 2 seedy men to kidnap his own wife. The case is investigated by a pregnant police chief, pictured here, played by Frances McDormand. I love the settings, the quirky dialogue, the over-exaggerated Midwestern accents, and the story overall. Number 6, Donnie Darko, 2001. It's about a male who narrowly escapes an accident who is manipulated by a man in a bunny suit to commit crimes. I really like this one because it talks about time travel and mental issues. I love the ambiguity that leaves the viewers trying to figure out what's going on in the movie. And it takes place in the late 80s with a great soundtrack, which includes Tears for Fears and Duran Duran. It's an overall intriguing watch. Number 7, Supergirl, 1984. This film is about Superman's cousin who comes to Earth in search of a power source orb she lost that's in the hands of a sorceress. Helen Slater is beautiful as Supergirl. I loved her flying poses, flying ballet at the beginning. This movie has some of the most realistic flying scenes in any movie. The soundtrack is epic, and Faye Dunaway chewed up the scenery. It also has some memorable lines. I recite them from time to time when I need a nice chuckle. It's campy and not the best movie, but it has heart. Number 8, The Witches, 1990. This film is about a young boy whose parents died in an accident, so he goes to live with his grandmother. They go to a hotel where there are witches who are present who hate children. He's turned into a mouse. A stellar performance by the beautiful Angelica Houston as the Grand High Witch, in which she truly looked horrifying in her true form that you see pictured here. I'm always in awe of how Miss Houston plays these villainous roles because in her interviews, she's so sweet and humble. Makeup, special effects were on point. The late Jim Henson's puppetry was great. The chemistry with the actor who played the boy and his grandmother was very good. Number 9, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors 1987. This was the third outing for the man of your dreams, Freddy Krueger, portrayed by the great Robert Englund. It's about troubled teens in a psych ward who are the last of the Elm Street kids who have to battle Freddy. This is one I consider the best in the series because it was written and directed so well. What I liked about this one was although Freddy had jokes and one-liners, he was still dark and scary. Everything balanced out nicely. The atmosphere and creepy setting was great. I like the change of the setting for taking place primarily in the psych ward as opposed to being in a neighborhood like the others. And I like when they got their dream powers, plus Freddy delivers one of the greatest lines in history that'll make you instantly recognize the movie that I heard Englund improvised. And I can't forget Sassy Kincaid. I wonder how that actor is doing today. He added such flair. Overall, a great watch. And lastly, number 10, The Wicker Man 1973. This classic, described as the Citizen Kane of horror movies, stays true to its tagline and effectively does it under 90 minutes, in which movies similar to it are very lengthy and subpar. It stars Edward Woodward, who plays an officer sent to a Scottish island in search of a girl. It also stars the late, great Christopher Lee. What I liked about this movie is it gives a glimpse into a different religion I knew nothing about and its practices. It offers a sense of dread for this poor officer who goes through the island not knowing he's in over his head and in danger, who tries to make demands and spread his religious beliefs on these people. But what I really liked about the movie is the music. I'm primarily an R&B fan, but the folk music played in this film hit all of the right spots. Who knew I was a folk music fan? My faves are Maypole, Corn Riggs, and the Willow Song. And of course, the twisty conclusion is everything. Check this movie film out. Some honorable mentions are Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Ghostbusters, The Wizard of Oz, American Psycho, and Friday. Those are my picks. What are yours? Y'all have a good one.